Tumepigwa na marisasi, ndio tukapambana nao kidogo na hiyo watu akakimbia, tujaona hata ni amepita wapi.
Now is the time to end this madness once and for all.
The act of stealing cattle has for many years been a thorn in the flesh among the Kenyan nomadic communities, more so those living in northern parts of Kenya.
Mimi ni namba ya 5. Tuko watoto 7 na mmoja akafariki kwa sababu ya hiyo kifo ya Baragoi.
Our teachers cannot teach any longer. No teaching. Unless and until security is beefed.
Cattle rustling, as it is commonly referred to, is a cultural practice to some communities that lead to massive losses to the communities affected.
Mzee mmoja anaitwa Karoi, alikuwa anachunga mbuzi yake tu. Akakuja akapiga risasi, mzee akawawa na wakachukua mbuzi.
Maisha tangu tuliposaliwa imekuwa ni maisha magumu. Kionga ambaye wengine hatujafikia masomo kwa sababu ya kutokuwa na amani katika mji wetu wa Turkana, wa Samburu. Yaani wakati unafurahia maisha kidogo, ndugu yako ameuawa. Kabla unafurahia maisha kidogo, ng'ombe imepelekwa, mbuzi. Sasa tumeishi maisha ya shida, ya kilio.
The issue of cattle rustling now, it's no longer cattle rustling as somebody has said. It is only a criminal activities that's only killing.
Cattle rustling is often viewed in the context of tradition or resource conflict.
During dry season, there's conflict over scarce resources, particularly water. So conflict do arise, and when it arises, it now mutate into, tribe conflict.
Cattle rustling in this country is not a cultural issue as it has been projected or sometimes portrayed to be. It's a criminal enterprise.
Maisha ya wananchi, ondoa maneno ya siasa ndani yake. Hawa watu wanahitaji usalama.
But in 21st century, this primitive act has revolutionized to organized crime, where sects of the warring communities arm themselves not just for defense, but intimidate and retaliatory attacks to their aggressors.
Mimi nimekuwa mwadhiriwa kwa sababu kama ni watu nimepoteza wengi, kama ni mifugo imeisha. Unakuta vijana, in fact kama mimi mwenyewe, mimi nimepoteza since 2015. No, not 2015, 2014 nimepoteza watu 5 kwa familia yangu, sio ya mtu mwingine.
The entire region of North Rift are armed. The Pokots are armed, the Marakwets are armed to the teeth, the Turkanas are armed, the Samburus are armed. And if you have to do disarmament, we do disarmament gender everywhere.
You may call it a war based on polarized leadership, incitement, a divide and rule strategy domineered by the tyrannies of this land, making their subjects captives and subdued to bow before their masters for their lives.
Wale watu wanaishi katika bonde la Suguta, unakuta hakuna kitu kingine watu wanafanya isipokuwa watu yani shida ile tuko nayo ni hiyo shida ya vita.
Communities who once lived as blood brothers have turned to vicious enemies, taking every life of the living on their path.
Imeniadhiri pakubwa kwa sababu tulikuwa na mali na yote ikashukuliwa. Iliposhukuliwa tuliishi maisha ya shida. Kionga ambaye hata mapato ya chakula hakuna mahali tulikuwa tunapata.
The canopy towering the valley remain a disguise, enveloping the bleeding souls as each group arming his troops to the tooth. The sound of the gunshots have become engraved in the mind of the young children who once lived in a land rich in milk and honey, perceived to be Canaan, now is a valley of death.
Unakuta mtu anasema ngopang. Ndio ngopang, kama wewe hasa leader unatokea unaongea ngopang. What about mwananchi ya kawaida? Kwa hivyo wakati kiongozi anasema ngopang, tayari umetangaza vita.
Counties like West Pokot, Turkana, Marsabit, Wajir, Marakwet and Samburu have become breeding grounds for the so-called the daredevil bandits.
Almost 72 hours. We have now been attacked 3 times. The worst one was yesterday evening at around 5 p.m. The bandits came during the daytime, shooting carelessly to anybody that they will see.
Every path they cross leaves traces of blood, becoming permanent footprints in this land. The local dailies have become their testament for every heinous crime they wage on the innocent, as well as a vessel for the voiceless, calling on the government security apparatus for urgent attention to salvage what remains. For instance, on 27th February 2017, the county governors could not keep silent anymore, calling upon the head of state to act swiftly as Tiati constituency slowly turned into a playground for the bandits. 2 months later, families in Margat were engulfed in agony again as women and children bore this weight of the violence. The spate of the attacks, killings and property destruction spread to 2018 as the life expectancy was dwindling at a fast rate. With no ray of hope, the elders resorted to seeking divine intervention, but all this was a litmus test paper with no tangible result. From attacking innocent families, the armed bandits turned on schools and hospitals, making Kerio Valley a no-go zone. Scars from the conflict, running from one generation to another, has trailed the homesteads. The victims have nothing to smile about as their fate hangs in the hands of the raiders. Despite a myriad of calls from all corners of the country to end the spree of killings, which fell on the deaf ears.
Ndugu yangu mzazi bwana, na mimi nakakata kuni ndio nalichia watoto yangu, na ndugu yangu alikuwa analinda mimi kwa kuni.
Nimetoka kusika vijana wawili jana, na last weekend tulisika wanafunzi wawili wa university.
Our sons have been turned to watchmen for the community when the sons of other mothers in Kenya are working to fend for their families.
Bado tuko na shida kwa sababu ukiangalia katika kaunti zingine, mtu anatoka kwa ile kaunti anakuja na familia wewe. Anatoka kwa hii kaunti anakuja na gonga wewe.
Constant threats from the state officials never seem to bother the bandits, who even dare the security apparatus to cross the battle line.
We will facilitate a good environment for getting rid of illegal arms or illegal guns.
We are going to have a tough security plan to sort out these people once and for all. Tuwatafute wote.
Kama serikali hatuwezi kukwepa na hatuwezi kutoroka nafasi yetu ya kuhakikisha ya kwamba kuna usalama katika kila sehemu ya Kenya.
Yale ni maneno ambayo nataka yatatuliwe ili tuweze kuwa na amani katika eneo hizi zote.
As the faint light restores hope to the victims, the Ataker community elders converge to form a formidable bond. At the Bonglore Cultural Festival. With the 5 festivals already celebrated, the festival has brought more hope and cohesion among the nomads living in northern Kenya. Turkana County, also referred as the cradle of mankind, has now turned into a cultural ground, showcasing the Ataker Nilo-speaking communities, spreading its wings to the neighboring states like Uganda, South Sudan, and Ethiopia.
The Turkana Cultural Festival is that unadulterated, virgin, expose of culture within 2 to 3 days. On top of that, it has actually gone outside the ambits of Kenya, whereby now we are inviting our colleagues in Uganda, in South Sudan, in Ethiopia, who euphemically speak the same language like us. So it is even acting as a piece, a tool of peace, of bringing together all these cultures. On top of that, people from outside the world are actually so much interested, not only to study, to appreciate, and to come and learn about this ancient culture. After all, this is where humanity began. The oldest fossil was discovered right here in Turkana. No wonder it has been dubbed correctly as Tobonglore, that all he inhabitants of the world welcome back home.
Sherehe kama hizi kiekwa na tuweko kwa usawa. Tuweko kwa usawa, isisemekana huyu ni kabila fulani. Ati huyu ni kabila fulani, hapana. Tuweko kwa usawa. Hapo itatusaidia.
Na kweli kulinda utamaduni wenu kutoka siku hizo mpaka sasa, na tena mmesambaza utamaduni mahali kwingi. Hata sisi tunacheza sana kwa sababu tulitoka pamoja. Hilo ni jambo kubwa. Waswahili wanasema mkosa mila ni mtumwa.
The 5th Tobonglore Festival opened its gates in August 2019. The impact of the festival could be felt across the region as the Pokots, Turkana, Samburu, Somalis and Toposa share a stage to showcase the conserved and diluted heritage in this land.
Alagite is a kind of a bead that is prepared to give the beads that are worn on the neck an overall impression. So that is why they always have alagite. And remember, depending with the regions, some regions like alagite. When at the festival time, you will realize some like to adorn themselves differently.
Once sworn enemies, they now call each other brothers. The leader have vowed to foster peace for all.
Miaka 6 iliyopita mipaka yetu, hasa mipaka ya kimataifa, ilikuwa na shida kubwa zaidi, na tuliweza kuhamasisha na kuweka mikutano ya amani, makamati ya amani, mkutano kila miezi 3 kule katika mpaka. Kama hivi majuzi, miezi 3 iliyopita, nilikuwa katika Kibish nikikutana na viongozi wa pande zote mbili.
Governor Josephat Nanok affirms that Ikale Cultural Center now will be transformed to a business enterprise, opening gates for employment for thousands of locals and neighbors for economic empowerment.
Ikale Center na mipango ya utamaduni na Tobonglore itaweza kujipeleka mbele, ikilete mambo mengi mapya ya kufanya biashara katika center hii.
Tobonglore is a Turkana dialect which means welcome back home. And this year's festival is tagged as, or the hashtag, peace fostering in the communities living in northern parts of Kenya. These communities have coexisted for centuries, but peace is no longer prevailing. The inter-country agreement between Uganda, Kenya, Ethiopia and South Sudan has also aided in strengthening pillars of peace among the communities.
Kuna mpango saa hii kaunti zote ambazo zinapakana na Ethiopia pamoja na serikali ya Ethiopia na ya Kenya. Tunajadilia pia kuweka mkataba huo wa amani na maendeleo ili tuweze kupanua mkataba ulioko kati ya Marsabit, Kenya Marsabit na Ethiopia Borana Zone, ili ipanuke na iweze kulete maneno ya kimaendeleo, kuondoa kabisa uhatari wa usalama, uweke usalama ya kutosha na mambo ya maendeleo yaanze kuingia katika eneo hili.
Tumekuwa na mazungumzo na wajirani Uganda na hata Sudan Kusini na Ethiopia, na tunataka kuona kama amani iko katika mpaka zetu zote. Hatutaki kuona kama mpaka zinatumiwa kama kinga ya uhalifu.
And we will be doing our part to ensure that the agreement benefits communities both in Kenya and Uganda, and making sure that our communities share the resources along our borders and there is proper infrastructure.
As Africa is opening up to civilization, the cultural scholars raises a red flag, alluding that our endured heritage won't be able to see the light of the world in 5 decades to come.
Urbanization has ensured that people have moved from the social coherent networks of the rural areas to the urban areas where individualism has been embraced. You will realize that in cities like Nairobi, in cities like Abuja, in cities like Johannesburg, it is not uncommon to hear that nobody knows the other neighbor or what even they do, and they are never even invited to their social events. So this person, I can't identify myself anything to do with him. 2, technology. With the advent of social media, your Facebook, your Twitter, etc., the globalization aspect of technology has ensured that the culture of Aborigines in Australia is quickly transpositioned within a short time to Africa. And the young people, the advent of pop culture, as it comes, it becomes a fashionable thing for the young people to identify themselves with that. And the drivers of this is basically technology and, in principle, social media. With the time, you will admit with me that education in itself has ensured that Africans have regarded their own culture. The more educated they get, the more they realize that their culture is not really as robust as culture X, like the Western culture, for example. So you get that the more Africans get educated, the more they start abandoning their cultural connotations. And that is why across all the 54 countries in Africa, there is always a department or a ministry of culture trying to remind Africans that, hey, as much as you are progressing forward, do not forget to move in with culture with you.
Utamaduni ni muhimu sana kwa kila taifa. Inaweza kuunganisha mataifa zetu. Tukidumisha na kuimarisha utamaduni wetu kama Wakenya, hiyo ndio itakuwa utajiri wetu. Yani umoja kwa utajiri, yani unity in diversity.
The question that everyone asks is, will Africa hold on what defines them?
If we don't, Elvis, we are doomed. I don't think conservation of culture is an alternative. It is a mandate that we owe not only to ourselves, but to the generations that will come. Conservation of culture has a way of showing us the rare end of our evolution as human beings, of our evolution as Africans, of our evolution as a tribe, of our evolution as a clan. If we cannot be able to see where we've come from, surely, what impetus will we have for designing the future or where we are headed? What will we tell our children that the meaning of ngurasho, for example, among the Agikuyu? What will we tell our children the aspect of using cattle or a specific amount of money among the Kalenjin, whereby you use 4,444 when you are doing your introduction before marriage? What will you tell your children when they are born and there are some traditions that must be performed in order for this child to have a healthy living?
Tobong Lore Festival is now a sign of hope and cornerstone for restoring the heritage of the Ateker community, bringing the lost in the world of modernity back home.
Hivyo ndivyo inatakikana makaunti sote. Siwezi kuunganisha watu, community zote ambao wanaishi ndani ya kaunti wakuwe kitu moja. So that hakuna uwezi sikia ati kuna wizi ama kuna nini. Kwa sababu saa hii Tobong Lore kila mtu ana concentrate. Unakuta mwingine anauza peremende pale, mwingine anauza maji pale na maisha inasonga. Na kati ya hiyo mnaweza kujuana kama friends. Unakuta watu kutoka Ethiopia, unakuta wengine kutoka Sudan, wengine kutoka Ethiopia, kutoka Uganda, wote wako hapa. Unakuta watu from Laikipia, wote wako hapa. So mnaweza kutana na kutengeneza urafiki.
Wale ambaye wanafikiri Tobong Lore ni kukuja kuimba peke yake, wajue Tobong Lore ni mambo ya amani, ni mambo ya kutulete pamoja, ni mambo ya kujikumbusha utamaduni wetu, hasa watoto wetu na vijana wetu.
For the victims of inter-community animosity, now look forward to reaping big in peace restoration by using the cultural fabric as a bridge to unity.
And even I dare say, instead of being held once annually, it can even go twice a year, because it's really something that has a lot of benefit. Mention tourism, mention cross-border collaboration, mention educative aspect of it, mention, the strengthening of the cultural traditional aspect of our people, mentioning the aspect of cohesion that eats into it.
Mila yaweza tumika kufanya maendeleo. Mila yaweza tumika kuwezesha kuzungumzia maneno ya watoto wetu kwenda shuleni, na pia mila ni muhimu kwa kuwezesha tourism.
At 18 years, Jacinta Ngoli, a resident of Baragoi, has joined peers of peace patrons, working hard to ensure her fellow age mates don't fall prey to banditry acts.
Tunapatia watu wetu education ya kutosha, tunawaelimisha. Tunatoa katika ile upirimiti ya kusema kwamba lazima uende uraid, mwingine umnyang'anye ndio uweze kuishi. Tukaamua kuforma team ambao itakuwa ikisunguka country wide, ikienda kuimba na kusaidia community ili waweze kuacha mambo ya cattle rising, watu waishi.
Ninapoimba manyimbo ambaye sinamtukuza Mungu, kupitia hizo manyimbo ninabariki wengi.
And music has become her tool for peace.
Ashamtea talang Turkana inamaanisha ninapenda mila ya Waturkana.
Wewe ni Mturkana asili kabisa?
Mimi ni Mturkana asili.
Na wewe kijana?
Acha miti ankatunga. Tokojokon. Tokojokon.
Ya maisha hiyo sana.
I love my people.
Kabisa.
Kabisa.
Huwezi acha mila Turkana kabisa?
Siwezi na sitawacha. Mimi ni Turkana damu. Yeah.
Peace is the epitome of any success state, and for the Ateker community, this song won't part from their lips nor fade from their brains. It is now a lullaby that will be sung by all generations to come. For Culture Quest, I'm Levis Msumba.